hoping that everything's going to get better.
Basically, we need to make a black people defense force, vigilante defense force.
You know, we're not living in the Marvel's world. You were really quick to call people coon and simp.
I call people coons when they deserve to be called coons.
No, you're. Yes,
but you are a sellout. You're selling out for the money. You do anything for money.
Black on black.
Yeah,
no white people.
We're talking about
Why
the
can that be
police.
fixed?
Who are the police?
No, we're talking about.
Who are the police? What's going on, y'all? Ground Motivate back in this thing again with another video. And today, man, we're checking out some news that is pretty time sensitive. You know, as you can see, we're on vacation here in California, but we figured that this was something to talk about, man. And if you don't know what it is, by the title, it's the mass shooter in Buffalo who was basically a Dub S type of guy. And we have a video right here by Ruined Leon called "Black Lives Matter Again" now that the activists have a white shooter. And what do you think about the title?
I don't know.
You don't know? Alright, let's see what he's got to say. Let's see what kind of points he's making.
I watched this shooting in Buffalo.
Thank you for that report. And that suspect surrendered to police this afternoon, and within hours he was in court to be charged with first-degree murder.
Now, if he's convicted, he faces life in prison without parole. 2 on your side's Ron Plants was in the courtroom.
18-year-old Peyton Grindon sat quietly as he waited for his arraignment before Buffalo City Court Chief Judge Craig Hanna. He was barefoot, wearing a paper cutaway gown with one side that fell off his shoulder as he then stood before the judge. When asked if he understood his rights, he answered simply yes and appeared coherent with his court-appointed attorney standing by his side as his case was then referred to a grand jury. Grindon, who was again 18 years old, from Conklin, New York, near Binghamton, currently stands accused of 1 count of first-degree murder. The judge granted a forensic exam, which is standard to determine competency with a psychological assessment. He is being held without bail. Prosecutors at the local and federal levels stressed these points in his case so far.
This individual has been arraigned on murder in the first degree, which is the highest murder charge in New York State. Carries with it a sentence of life without parole. We have taken the appropriate steps right now to get him behind bars. And that's what we did.
Bars.
We are now investigating terrorism charges, other murder charges, along with working with our partners in the federal government so that they can perhaps file charges as well.
What do you think about that? Do you think that he acted alone, or do you think he had other people with him? Because I think they said he was working like a warehouse job or something, $15 an hour, but he's able to get all these guns and all this stuff.
I mean, what about his family situation? I don't think it matters. Since he's so young, it's probably a part-time job, so maybe his family's well off, and that's how he got the money. Maybe,
but they said he had been online kind of talking about this stuff for months, or like, I don't know, maybe years, but they said he had been talking about it and planning it openly.
Like the dark web and all that crap?
No, not the dark web, the regular web, Twitch.
On Twitch?
Yeah.
Twitch doesn't censor that?
Right. I don't think that like YouTube and all these internet things, they do a good job of censoring stuff when you kind of crush like white people and stuff like that, but if you kind of crush black people, they kind of will push it a little more. Like a lot of these kind of coon places, they send them in the algorithm. You got folks like Cynthia G, they send her in the algorithm. Anybody that just crushes black people, well, like,
but he's not just crushing black people. If he's talking about a terrorist attack, or like a mass shooting.
Yeah, but they let it ride though. They let it ride.
I need to see proof. I can't just believe it based on what people are saying. I need to see what exactly he typed online. Like what exactly he said on Twitch, because I don't think there's no censorship in Twitch in terms of like if I'm talking about planning a shooting, there has to be some kind of censorship where it's like it triggers something and then people start to like.
Yeah, maybe he didn't actually. I don't know. Maybe he didn't actually plan a shooting, but he said things that were disparaging.
So then he didn't plan on Twitch. You can like people can say
yeah,
like,
but
he
you
was
can't
planning
even say
it on
simp
the web.
You can't even say simp on Twitch, but you can crush a black person on Twitch.
Like if you type simp, it's gonna.
If you say simp, they will get you on Twitch because they're
according
lame.
to who?
They banned it last year.
Like the word simp?
Yeah, the word simp. If you say it, I guess
so
you get
if you use the N word, you're gonna be banned too, right?
No, you can use the N word. That's funny, right?
I need to see proof.
Nigga, you ain't funny. That's not true. Maybe you're just boring as fuck and lame as hell. Cause only lame niggas say that shit.
is too outlandish to me.
Yeah, it is outlandish, but that's the world we live in. Let's get it.
And I already have my stance. If you take a life, you get your life taken. I don't care if you was bullied. I don't care if your parents abused you. I don't care if that girl didn't text you back. I don't care if you caught your father fucking your dog. None of that matters. You willingly decided to take somebody else's life or a group of people's lives, so you deserve your life taken. But it's funny now, after all this time of not saying a word, Twitter activists are losing their mind. They spewing all the hot takes necessary. Look, another racist white supremacist being handled with gentle care after slaughtering at least 10 with an AR-15 in a Buffalo supermarket. Rest in peace to those who lost their lives in Buffalo, New York today at the hands of yet another white supremacist with an assault rifle. The U.S. is insufferable. This man wrote an iron sight of the gun, wrote a manifesto, streamed it on Twitch. This is America. Y'all don't understand. Tops on Jefferson is in the hood, in Buffalo, probably the blackest neighborhood in western New York, and somebody drove over 4 hours to come up and shoot it up, literally because of skin color. A damn 18-year-old white kid live-streamed himself murdering 10 black people on Twitch, and the blood is on so many hands. I want to say what I actually feel Tucker Carlson, Fox News, ONN, and so many others deserve, but I'll lose my account immediately. Sending prayers to all the families affected by the Buffalo shooting and having to deal with its unspeakable and atrocious act. The world is becoming a scarier and scarier place, especially for black people. It's scary for everyone, somebody commented, and the most brain-dead thing I've seen. Since this was a race massacre, you should probably sit this one out. White supremacists are the #1 threat to national security. America is a racist country. I never expect you to understand, but it's not the same for everyone. He meant what he said, and it's true.
What do you think about that?
I agree.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure by the time I upload this, Joanne Reed probably said something, Don Lemon said something. All the activists are buck jumping, trying to fight each other for the hottest take about this. It's point blank and simple. This piece of shit deserves to rot. They don't deserve any courtesy, no niceness, no leniency, none of that. They willingly took people's lives. Now they deserve the ultimate punishment. Point blank, period. And it's just funny to me that these same people who are tripping over themselves to make sure that you know white people bad, black people always victims, were nowhere to be found a fucking month ago.
Well, now to the man charged with a mass shooting on the subway train last month. He appeared in federal court today. Police say Frank James shot 10 people and injured about 20 others when he set off smoke canisters.
Do you agree with what he said, that nobody said anything about the Brooklyn shooter, but they're all talking about this? Or did you see otherwise?
I do feel that way, because I feel like the Brooklyn shooter, like a couple of YouTubers like you follow covered it, but not a lot of people were taking it into account because it's not a specific race being targeted. I feel like people are like, another mass
saw
shooter.
Otherwise.
But like the reason that, but I feel like we need to think about it, because of course what happened in Buffalo, New York is definitely like a very like racist attack, right?
Yeah.
But behind that is, how did these people, again, an 18-year-old, get his hands on guns? Like, why are there so many mass shooting happening in the States? It's just ridiculous. The fucking US is like a developed country. How do you guys let this even happen? It doesn't make any sense. And news reported, people talk about it, but it's still not slowing down. So what the fuck is going on?
I think enough people talked about this guy. I don't think anybody's condoning what he did at all.
No, it's like, yes, people talk about it, but what can you do to make this
the black
change
community,
it?
it's not like we're just like, oh man, you did that, boy, you went in there and did that. No, we're not doing that. Nobody did that. Nobody condones any type of school shooter or mass shooter of any type.
No, I'm saying the reason why I think Ruin Leon is bringing this up, he's saying, why are there so many shootings in the States?
Yeah.
In New York.
I think he's trying to say that there wasn't as much outrage for this versus when the white guy did it. That's what he's trying to say. And
I mean, I do feel like it's understandable.
He's also saying what you're saying, but this is also what he's saying too.
Okay, but I think it's understandable. Like, to be honest, like if I'm watching the news, right, one is saying like, say like an Asian American got killed.
Yeah.
The other one is like, say like, I don't know, like a school shooting happened.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I don't have kids, so I'm gonna feel more. I feel like I'm gonna pay more interest into the Asian American shooting.
Okay.
Because that affect me more directly than the school shooting. But of course, if I have a kid, I might feel differently. If I have a close relative that has a kid that goes to school in the States, I might feel differently. So people, like, it's just the human nature. We are going to be thinking or paying more attention to what directly will affect us.
Right.
So as a black person, right, it's like if it's definitely like a racial targeted shooting, you're gonna be like, oh damn, that's happening. But still, yeah, I appreciate him pointing it out. But still, it's just like you can't avoid it.
Let's go. You said what was this guy's defensive
Yeah.
idiot.
Insanity?
The fat is like burning in his head and messing him up basically.
No. I'm talking about legal standpoint.
Yeah.
If he says I'm not guilty, what is his like argument?
He's just a crazy man.
What is defense?
If you watched his videos before, he just was a crazy guy.
No, I'm saying like actually in court. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't think he
I
has a
want to look
defense,
into
though.
this.
Then
No,
look
like-
into it then.
Like you have.
You look into it then.
So I'm gonna ask this question after seeing a bunch of fake hate crimes perpetuated by black people, black students writing racial slurs on high school walls, trying to get everybody to talk about race, and all these different people not speaking up or trying to say it's a white person that's the perpetrator of a shooting, when in reality it's a black person that's the perpetrator. And when I had to sit and watch a security cam footage of a black man getting out of his car and getting walked down on and shot in the back of the head by another black person, do black lives matter, or do black lives only matter when the narrative fits? Because it's interesting how I listed all these things.
That's a very good point. Because we watched that video of a black man being shot down in the head by another black man, and other people just walk around it like nothing happened, right? It's all black people, so that's why that footage didn't go viral as it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go viral because like, what the hell is going on? Why is everyone so like not treating his life seriously? Just like, oh, another man got shot. Like, what's going on in those neighborhoods? Like, that's something I feel like people needs to look into. But I think it only stirs up enough talk or discussion when it's like a white person, a white ass person shooting up a black person. So I think he brings up a really good point.
I think a lot of people are talking about that actually.
But it's like you don't see like like riots, and you don't see like people marching saying we need to change the neighborhood, we need to kick those like low life people out of the neighborhoods, make them stay away from our kids. You don't see those happening.
I think people are more so focused on the fact of how they treat the different criminals, and they're like they're gonna definitely bring down the hammer on that guy.
If you think about
this guy, I think they sat and gave him McDonald's before
but
they
if you think about, I'm not talking about involvement of cops. I'm talking about people living in the neighborhood. If you think about it, each neighborhood that's like kind of like, let's say like ratchet or right, there will be, you probably know like that person down the street, that house down the street, they're doing some drug dealings, they're doing some shit. But why aren't people kicking them out of the neighborhood? Why are people tolerating them?
How you gonna kick them out of the neighborhood, man? Come on, man.
Call the police on them, arrest them.
Yeah, but then they might come after your folks.
Oh, so you're scared of being revenged.
That's what most of them are. It's like the old regular people are scared of them.
So it's like they're doing bad shit that's going to impact your kids, but you're not doing anything.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
So that's really fucked up.
You definitely is. Some folks call though. I don't know. It's definitely
because that's a more direct impact to my life and my kids' life and our neighborhood's kids' life than like a white shooter, doing the shooting in.
It's not a good look.
So I'm like, why don't you think about cleaning up your own street, kicking those people out, making your neighborhood better, so there's less shootings overall or less crimes overall. Yeah. Protect your neighborhood. Like, I think that's more realistic.
I'm gonna let you have this one. See what everybody says. Let's get it.
Things, and these same activists were nowhere to be found. When you talk about what happened in New York a couple of weeks ago, all these same activists were trying to spin it as white terrorism when it was a black person who had a big manifesto and I think a YouTube channel about how much they hate white people.
James constantly disparaged other black people, calling them cattle, sounds familiar, and domesticated animals, whose intended role in white society was to be a slave. He regularly advocated setting up a separate homeland for non-white Americans.
How is it you have all these examples of black people doing bad, taking lives of other black people, and these same activists just think it's another day in the hood? They think it's just another day for black people. Oh, black people are naturally killing black people. The dumbass woman who tried to make it a thing of black people going around knifing each other, all because she couldn't cope with the idea of a black woman, a little black girl, taking it upon herself to be a split second away from stabbing another person, and that got stopped because a cop shot her. All you people like to.
I do kind of wonder how it would be if like some of these organizations made it where like they went in and tried to clean up the people that were in the hood. That was like, I look at those people as coons. Like Like they're perpetuating a bad narrative about us, and they're making us look bad. And they're yeah.
Who's coons? The one that's trying to clean up the neighborhood?
No, the people that are doing the crimes.
They're not coons because they probably feel like they probably don't look down on black people.
No, they're coons in a different kind of way.
So you shouldn't call them coon because they don't fit into. I think they're just trashy people. They're low life trashy people. Like they don't give a shit about how their behavior will impact how the whole society view black people. They're selfish. They're extremely selfish.
That's coony then.
No, coon is like more like a sellout.
Yeah, but that's coony too.
They're not coony.
You don't care about how the black people look around.
They're just selfish. Their mentality is not high enough to think about themselves as a race. How they present themselves to the world as black people. They don't care about that shit. They only care about, oh, do I have money to live today, tomorrow? Like, where do I get money? They don't think about all those other layers. Like
I think it's multiple layers of coon out here in the streets. But I understand what you're saying. Let's get it.
To jump for the white guy. You want to stand tall, you want to stand proud, you want to pretend to be heroes, but you're inconsistent as fuck. Black Lives Matter, all that in your bio, all that merch you got, all these things you're doing to try to appease a bunch of black people that's calling you racist, all the black people doing that because you're pathetic and you want to try to seem like the hero, you are fucking embarrassing because you have communities of people fighting each other and you don't say a word. You got communities taking the lives of other communities and you not saying a word. You got rappers with the RICO charge and you saying free my nigga. That's embarrassing. And the only time you seem to care about the lives of black people is when they're out and having their lives being lost by white people. There's a problem there. There's an issue there.
And here's what we know. At 9 p.m. last night, a gunman shot 3 people at MLK in Highland right by Deer District. The victims included a 16-year-old girl and a 29 and 26-year-old man. 2 different men there, 29 and 26-year-old. Police arrested a 19-year-old man, and everyone is expected to survive.
And it strengthens my point that Black Lives Matter is not a real thing. It's not anything that people take serious. It's not anything people will actually hold to task and actually stand up and fight for. Because if I were to lose my life by a black person right now, it's just niggas killing niggas. But if a white person came in and shot me in the back of my head, I got t-shirts, I got hashtags, I got people who hate me caring about me. And that's fucking embarrassing. That makes me sad. That makes me feel deep down in my stomach, my black life don't matter. And that's fucking embarrassing because my black life does matter. It's just on Twitter where the activists try so hard to get likes. The only ones that matter are the narrative.
That's such a good point because I feel like a lot of times you would probably hear news about this rapper being killed by another black guy, right?
Yeah.
And then by default would assume like, oh, it's probably a gang shooting, gang involved activity, or he just messed with the wrong person at the wrong time, so that's his payback.
Right.
Like people don't look into that too much and be like, oh, that's a crime too, like you know. But if it's a white person that killed the rapper, people are gonna be like digging all the way in, see what's going on. So I feel like he actually make a really good point because when a lot of time when we see like a black person kill another black person, we just by default we just think, oh, it's like he messed up. You know, he probably was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Move on. But it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get it.
On TV, the only ones that matter are the narratives. Here's why I'm in this. Barrington Martin is somebody on Twitter that shares the same opinion that I do. I think it's so funny that black victims to gun violence are only given empathy when the shooter is white. When the shooter is black, these tweets you see are non-existent. But because the Buffalo shooter fits their political narrative, they're piling it on. And guess what one black individual decided to respond with? 4 letters, 1 word, coon. Because that's how some of you pathetic bastards think. You think another day in the neighborhood is absolutely fine. Your heart don't ache when a black life is being lost by a black person. Yet, when you have
I can
black
see you typing that
calling
comment
out
too.
the political...
I can see you typing that comment.
Typing that comment?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would type
You were
that
really
comment.
quick to call people coon and simp.
I call people coons when they deserve to be called coons.
No, your coon definition is very broad.
No, it's not.
A low
If I
life.
was calling people coon, I would call him a coon.
No, a low life guy living in the hood selling drugs, he's not coon. He's not
I think
coon.
he is.
See, your definition is way too broad.
I think he is. Yeah, it might be way too broad.
You're just like, coon.
I think if you're doing anything to go against the community, I think that you're a coon sellout in a way.
It's different. It's different.
But you are a sellout. You're selling out for the money. You'll do anything for money. Because you'll go out and you'll sell these drugs and terrorize your neighborhood for the money.
So a black hooker is a coon.
Is she destroying her neighborhood?
She's destroying the black image. Black women's image, because people will see black women as a hooker.
Okay.
So she's a coon too?
I guess so.
Nah, you're definitely It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that to that because I don't agree.
I don't think he's a coon. I don't think Ruin Leon.
Yeah. I don't think he is either.
I think he's actually bringing up a really good point that make people like a lot of people that just come quick to judgment be like, oh, you're saying like we shouldn't be.
Nah, but I think that we as black people, I think that I guess it's like when you like I think you talked about it a while back. Is if you're kind of talking about issues constantly in front of a certain audience, then I think it makes you a coon. If you're like doing it in a performative way, then it makes you a coon. Like somebody like Officer Tatum.
Yeah, but like for Ruin Leon, I feel like even though I'm not black, I listen to him, I'd be like, that's a really good point. And if you didn't hear that, I actually want you to hear it. I want to, show that to you, show that message to you. Because I think it makes perfect sense.
You don't need to show me.
And I can relate. I can relate to it.
I'm very well level-headed. I understand what's going on.
No, I'm saying like if you didn't watch it, you didn't see it, I want to show it to you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just feel like a lot of times the mainstream YouTubers, they're steering things in certain directions, and then everyone's just like following up, be like, oh yeah, that's the case. But sometimes it's not.
But the dude is a white supremacist, so there's nowhere around.
Yeah, but he still made a good point. It's like why do we only hear so much about it when it's a white man killing black men? What about black men killing black men?
Yeah.
What happened then? Then it trickles down to what can we make the black neighborhood better?
Yeah.
It's like people are pushing this whole thing about about make racism more like a aware situation, Why are you laughing?
Because I can't wait to see what Amazing Lucas has to say about this.
Oh my god.
Me and Amazing Lucas are going to have a field day with you.
No, but seriously, like, what did all these people, the so-called black-loving, big name YouTubers were like, like those influencers did to their neighborhood, to the neighborhood they grew up in? Did you try to make them better? Did you try to do something to shape it up?
Yeah.
Or did you just get out of it and move to a wealthier neighborhood?
Yeah, that's what they do. They just get out of it and they move to another neighborhood, and I guess that kind of coons them in a way.
And then you look at all this and be like, WS is, we gotta be like, against WS. But what did you do to your own people? Did you help them at all besides just talk?
Yeah, and a lot of black people that come up, they look at it as I was able to make it, so man, you need to go and do the same thing. That's how they look at it. So they just feel like they shouldn't come back and do anything,
That's what KS do too.
That is what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Kevin Samuels did. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know. Like that one video was different, but that's the only one that was different. He's the only person that said something different. But Kevin Samuels is kind of on that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Let's get it.
Narrative of people only jumping when a white person is the obvious bad. Your response is to just say they a coon. Your response is to say they bootlegging. Your response is to say, oh, you cherry picking for the white man. No, they're pointing out how you people like to say Black Lives Matter. Don't show up for Black Lives every single time. Because guess what? Black people killing black people, that's something that happens almost every day. Go in any of these communities you call disenfranchised, turn on local news, and you're going to see that same problem happening every single day. Where are you? What are you doing? How are you stepping up? Are you doing anything to help? Are you doing anything of substantial greatness to a community? Or are you just getting on Twitter trying to sing songs and protest how we got a problem with white people? And guess what? To wrap it all up, it's just funny how the narrative for people who call that out is, oh, you're dancing for the white man, when you motherfuckers only show up when a white person is the perpetrator. If this ain't the clearest example of black lives not mattering, convenient ones do, then I don't know what else is going to make you realize that. I don't know how many other times I can point out black people doing stupid things and it gets a pass or it doesn't get the same mainstream media attention, but as soon as a white person does the exact same thing, now it's an issue for everybody in America. Now we got to discuss it. Now we got to talk about it. Now it got to be the thing we instill in everybody 24/7. We got to spend 7 days out of the next week talking about this because this is the only thing that they care about. They care about it when it's a white person doing the wrong, but when it's a black person, now we're not going to see that on CNN. We're not going to see Don Lemon get on stage and be like, oh, we have a problem with black beauty. We're not going to see Joanne Reed say any of this shit. It's embarrassing. So, once again, for the upteenth thousandth time, black lives don't matter, convenient ones do. Get the fuck out of here.
So we know that you like the video already.
No, because I was really thinking about it because I feel like a lot of times these news reporter or YouTubers they're not really there looking out for the black population, black community, right? Like they may say they are, they may
give me
have
an example of those people.
I don't know exactly who. I'm just saying because there's so many people saying it. Like they can be black themselves, so it's easy for them to say like, "Oh, I care about the black community." But again, the question I'm asking is, so what did you do for your community?
Yeah.
Right. Besides posting, reposting, or reposting stuff on Instagram, posting and reposting stuff on your YouTube channel, like shouting out all those like slogans. What did you actually do? You know, did you actually help the community you came from be in a better shape? Like if not, then you're covering these stories because it can get you clout, it can get you views, it can make you look better in front of your black audience. So it's.
I think when it comes to stuff like this, I think a lot of people want stuff to be better, but then it's like how like you'll be waiting on somebody to help you with something, and it kind of will make you not push yourself. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? Like say like somebody said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna help you apply for this job and get your resume right," or something like that. So you wait around for them. No,
that's the thing. If someone offered to help you, you can't wait for them to ask you again. Be like, "Are you ready for my help?" If they offered you help the first time, you gotta take initiative and be like, "Hey, I'm
know
ready."
that, but that's not what people are doing.
So you can't wait around.
I'm just telling you what I think people are doing. Like they're
that's
like
then that's really lame. Who are you waiting on to help you?
They're thinking like everybody's gonna get their mind right and one day all come together. They think all the black community is gonna come together and get their mind right and be like, "Oh man, you know what, man? He is down there selling drugs, man. Like, get his ass out of there." They think that's gonna happen. They think that when it comes to like an injustice as far as like some actual real dub stuff, they think that all the black people are gonna actually be on code and be like, "Oh man, we're gonna go down. Let's do something about this. Let's actually push for some legislation."
Also, black people having higher tolerance for black people, black criminals. It's like they're literally selling drugs to kids in the community down the street, and you expect them to just miraculously clean up one day and be like, "Oh, I actually want to be good." No, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
So you think black people need to like make like their own like vigilante defense force?
No, it's just it doesn't matter if that person is black or white or Asian or Hispanic, whatever it is. If they're doing criminal acts, they're a criminal. If they're making your neighborhood bad, it doesn't matter if you grew up with his mom or his aunt or like you know him since he's a kid and he just went the wrong way. Now he's a criminal. Like.
But what if the police are problematic and you know they might be corrupt and you don't want them, you wouldn't want to call them because you feel like that's only going to add to the problems?
That's a bigger issue then, because there's no one that can protect your community.
Yeah.
You need to find a way to.
Yeah, so I think that's what a lot of people think also.
Pass this layer of police and talk to higher ups. You gotta fix the problem. You can't just sit there sitting duck and waiting everything, hoping that everything's gonna get better.
Basically, we need to make a black people defense force, vigilante defense force.
You know we're not living in the Marvel's world. It's not gonna work.
We need to make a black people's defense force.
Are you gonna sign up for it?
Am I gonna sign up for it?
Yeah.
Go and get me right on the combatives, and maybe I will.
So if you have 5 kids waiting to be fed, you're just gonna join the force, not knowing if you can come back home or not. See, that's the thing. It's like you say it easy, but it's like, like everyone has a family duty. So it's like that's not the doable solution.
Well, we guess we'll get.
You have to recruit people that have 0 family member. Okay. Basically, you have to recruit people who are like Navy SEAL or veterans, all that, retired people, but they're not. Maybe the black population is going to be really small. You have to recruit like white people, and then you have to tell, do they have a tendency for being in WS? It's just going to make stuff too complicated. Yeah. So we pass on that.
Okay. That's interesting, man. That is interesting, man. A black people defense force, but that's probably the best way. Because talking to the police, like I said, there's some of them that's corrupt and they're going to only add fuel to the fire.
And then you have to vet them and see if there's a tendency of them being a coon. Like if they're actually in it for the benefit of the society or the benefit of themselves. You know? What if they are also going to be corrupted? Because you can't promise them being corrupted one day. Like humans just like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, But anyways.
Yeah, talking to the higher ups ain't going to get us nowhere either, though. We've already tried that, I think that's one of the issues with black people as well. Like we do a lot of begging and hoping that people will do right by us.
Then doesn't it sound really messed up? Like you live in the U.S., you're a U.S. resident, you're a U.S. citizen, and you're saying the law enforcement can fix your neighborhood when there's clearly crime going on. That just make U.S. the equivalent of Brazil. because Brazil's like police system
Yeah.
is really corrupted. So
Yeah.
it's like, what? But you're like.
But that is the case. Cause like he just talked about how they opened a RICO charge on Young Thug and all them kind of guys, and somebody made a really good question. I think it was T.I. said, why don't they open a RICO charge on the KKK? And the reason that they probably don't do that is because there's a lot of KKK members sprinkled throughout these police departments.
Okay, we're not talking about race right now. We're talking about black on black crime. We're talking about literally someone selling the drug, part of the cartel or part of the gang. It's black on black.
Yeah,
No
but
whites will
we're
know.
talking about
Why
the
can that be
police.
fixed?
Who are the police?
No, we're talking about
Who are the police?
American people, black and white, and Asian, and Hispanic. Why can they go to the neighborhood and fix
All
that?
right, fairy tale Angie. But anyway, man, that's it for the video.
No,
right
you're
there.
saying the people in the neighborhood can't trust the police because they're corrupted.
Yeah, they're corrupted.
Are they all corrupted? Every single one of them?
If most of them are corrupted and the higher ups are corrupted in the police department, then that's gonna.
No, I don't think that's always the case. You can't just be washed by like all the movies that you watch and be like, oh,
I do
bad.
honestly think that the police for the most part are corrupted. I think even if they're not corrupted from like a Dub S standpoint, I think that they may be corrupted from like a power hungry standpoint.
So to your point, America is just fucked because everyone in the police force is corrupted.
America's pretty jacked up. It is. But that's it for the video. Y'all let us know what y'all think about it, man. Do you guys agree with our Ruin Leon? Shout out to him. Do you think that this needs to be this needs to be addressed more constantly when like a black dude does it? We need like we need our folks to come in there and be like, hey man, what the hell you doing? Or do y'all think, man, it is just another day in the hood, man. Man, we only need to go after these white supremacists and all that kind of stuff. What do you think, man? Obviously, you're probably thinking the first one, unless you're an idiot.
But if you say it's just another day in the hood, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thought process that will make other people outside your race think black lives doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't matter. I think that's what his whole.
I think that's a specific subset of black people too. I think it is. Yeah. The idiot class. But anyway, man, that's it for the video. Y'all let us know what y'all think down in the comments below. If you watched to this point, thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.